Each night this ends into the same cycle. Research, prototype, test, plan, test again, research, eat, sleep, nightmare. Research, prototype, test, plan, test again, research, eat, sleep, nightmare. Again, and again, and again. No matter the steps that are taken to block them out. Dark a room, no. Fluffy bed, no. Stop eating, no. Drinking, no. Medication, no. Again and again and again. The nightmares return. Those eyes, piercing my skin like the razor claws of it. Unable to escape from its grasp, unable to breathe, unable to hide. At what point should I tell it? Do I tell it? No. You'll see its weakness as another reason that I cannot achieve perfection. I will never achieve perfection in its eyes. No matter the mission, no matter the battle, no matter the sacrifice, I will never be perfect. Nightmares, night terrors, a disease. In my times, common nightmare was believed to be a disease upon a man in his sleep, who supposes he has a great weight laying upon him. I guess this still lays true, but what is it that lays upon my shoulders? In reality, I know this is a chemical imbalance. The shift between sleep phases, REM to non-REM, the sudden onset of a fear simulation reaction, usually 2 or 3 hours after first sleeping. That would explain the constant lack of sleep I endure. Nightmares are different when individual to a person who experiences them. However, over time in this world, they have been narrowed down to 5 common themes. The environment, the things happening around oneself. Falling, being chased by someone or something. Failure, shame, and embarrassment. Or death of themselves or someone they care about. So why? Why are mine all 5? I will try to write my night terrors in hopes that I may understand their cause and stop this thing in my head. Environment. The things that happen around oneself. One of the big 5. I look into how the environment changes the internal mindset of oneself, whether they consistently realize this or not. It is said that as negative events occur around the said person, the likelihood of this affecting the person subconsciously increases by 40%. In this land of the council control, the ever-growing threat of those I things, and the unrest my own present causes in Vex, you would think that these night terrors would affect everyone but myself. The irony. But the nightmares are foggy. Only faded flashes of microseconds of information remain, like an SOS beacon right on the horizon as you watch the boat fade from view as it sinks. The more I try and remember the night terrors, the harder it is to sustain true meaning, or to recall any useful information. I can piece together the colours, the smell, the touch, and pain, but my vision is blurred. My ears are clouded, like a shield over me hiding just out of sight.
I remember red below green. The red faded as it went lower, hinting perhaps at a cliff. Pillars of lighter red throughout, a brown line between 2 green strips. I could only presume a bridge of some kind. A familiar noise, piercing into anyone's ears, but a distant relative, some may say, the indistinguishable screech of soul vultures, hungry for their next meal. The breeze was cool upon my skin, the sweet smell of grass, as the spring approached, and then nothing. Another flash. A large dark pillar looms over the sky, casting a dark pattern on the colours below. A grey and black rectangle stands out, with simple grey tones along its edge. From what I can piece together, I could only assume it to be a building. Grass sits below my feet, rustling of leaves. Water, fresh water bubbles, the smell of newly tilled earth. I turn to look around, to make sense of my surroundings. A red blotch says, and a red blotch lays upon the end of a line of blue. A river. I try to move closer to the red structure, and then it rips through my ears like a collapsing of rocks upon a cliff's edge, the cawing of a raven. Even here I cannot escape it. Not even in sleep. I clench my eyes, hoping it would awaken me, but no. I feel warmth. Gentle hands holding mine. The orange glow surrounds me. Sweet air passes in the breeze. Where am I? What is this feeling? Warmth. I try to see. I try to understand. The glow of orange and amber hues. One can only assume a sunset. Green overhead, cascading behind me, and in front of me. An archway. It continues behind. It was so bright. Warmth. I feel their hand in mine. Warmth. They squeeze my hand softly. Warmth. I try to see them, to make sense of this light. Warmth. Why can't I see them? Warmth. I hear cheering, laughing, music. Warmth. Who are you? Darkness. Within an instant, all noise stops abruptly. No breeze reaches me. The air is still, and in the distance it is there. Those eyes. The sound of the ravens drop me awake. This time, I dare not dream of sleeping again. Not tonight.
Falling. An all too common nightmare experienced by all. Actually, it is more common for those who dream of falling to physically feel the sensation than to see the fall itself. Interesting, no? The true chemical that causes these nightmares is still unknown for sure. There are many hypotheses, however. A distant tree-living ancestor, a hypnic jerk, perhaps simply a misinterpreted signal from the ears to the brain. In books of past it was said, "How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations." How they must laugh at me now. I was so foolish then. They looked to mock me, to laugh upon my dismay. They believed they could rise above me. It brought joy, watching the last light in their eyes fade, as I sent them to battle under my command, seeing the elves strike them down one by one. I should have seen my failings in keeping my troop alive, but those, I could not contain the smile upon my face. Nonetheless, it does not change my night terrors. It does not change the cycle.
Light. Bright, warm light. The soft glow of lavender hues to my side. The feeling of warmth from a small hand in my own. Gentle blue lays upon my vision. A smooth green, speckled in dots of colour. The gentle buzzing of insects. The birds sing. The air is warm and sweet. Two figures are in front of me. One slightly taller than the other. I cannot see what they are, but they seem familiar. People, perhaps. I reach out my hand. Perhaps I could feel them. Then would I know? The figure moves, brown hair to skin tones. Are they looking at me? He reaches out his hand as I place mine atop of theirs. Silence. The birds stop. The air eerily still once more. Then it happens. The darkness. I still feel the hand in my own. The warmth fades to cold, icy, even. Before another thought could cross my mind, I am blinded by hues of red, intense and hot. Blood-curdling scream rings into my ears, then another, and another. A dark smoke threatens to choke me as I cough. A fire. I try to grip the figure. It must be there, surely. And as my hand tightens, the figure's is gone. I am alone, as the fire strikes my back and scalds my lungs. Then it's there. The figure once more. They are closer now. Why do I feel so small? Brown hues are longer than I had thought. Until it grabs me. Panic? Fear? Optimism? I'm unsure what the true feeling was. Its hands upon my shoulders as it looks at me. I think it was trying to talk, but all I could hear is the never-ending screams. It shook me. What was happening? My eyes sting. The smoke thickens, and while lost in my questions, it stops. Turning its gaze behind me, I cannot see what it does. The figure blocks my view. Go. Now. The figure's voice cuts through like a siren. A woman. Her scream is deafening as she shoves me backwards. Darkness. I reach my hand to grab up at hers. Why did I reach my hand? Falling into a black void as I watch the figure above me fade from view. Where am I? What is this? Why did I reach for her? It is said when one is dreaming of falling, they awake before they hit the ground. It would happen that my luck did not allow for this, of course. The fall feels endless. But the dread of the surface rapidly approaching does not cross my mind. I try to fly, but there are no wings in which to do so. What? Where are my wings? I've always had wings. Why in this dream do I not? It told me I was special, born of wings divine. I have to believe it was right. My skull hits the ground, snapping my neck in an instant. I scream. Like my body has been ripped apart, the pain cuts through every nerve, and then it fades. Then nothing. And as I lay, waiting for something, anything, it is there. The eyes. Closer now than before. Why does it look upon me so? What does it want? Why me? And then I wake. I can still feel my fresh flesh crawling on my bones from the fall. Even now writing this journal, I cannot escape the gaze of those eyes. I am afraid. No more sleep. There is work to be done.
I must try to forget. Being chased by someone or something. The days are starting to blur together, losing track of the time I have been awake over the little sleep I can bear to have. No matter the condition, the night terrors repeat, and I am left in a pool of sweat and panic on each awakening. Legal says I have become irritable, that my temper is shorter than even the normal amount. My words are cutting more harshly. I do not wish to turn to anger to achieve what I must. My mind is clouded by the terrors. By the way they begin, I am beginning to lose connection to what is real and what is dreamt. Even on speaking to the land's therapist, not only did they not wish to delve into the nightmares, but they have offered me this guidance. When you feel like committing physical violence, take a breath and think to yourself, could I commit emotional violence instead? And if not, then commit the physical violence. I think that therapist might have been onto something, but it did not ease my dreams, and I remain without rest or peace. The night terrors, in which the feeling of being pursued, becoming ever more present as each night progresses. It is believed that nightmares in which you are chased are the result of anxiety, worry, or avoidance. However, the only thing I am worried for is how this lack of sleep shall affect my efficiency, and how it will feel about it. I must be successful in my mission. Even here in this tower, I feel alone. My brother is dead. The brother I protected is gone. I cannot bring him back. I do not have that power, though every fiber of me wishes I did. My brother. God has remembered. His name blessed upon its grace. Zachariah.
White. Bright, blinding white. The kind that burns your eyes, unnatural, unforgiving. The unholy noise rings out, as if in words, unclear and harsh. Instructions in which to act, but my mind refuses to understand. I stood, surrounded by the cold white as it screams into my ears. What? Who? The night terrors do not allow me to hear the words, or simply, I do not understand them. It cuts through my ears until it reaches my head, striking pain through my body like I had never felt. I fell to my knees as the agony takes over. The floor, cold, hard, unforgiving, as it sucks all heat from my body, my skin. I am not graced with silence, as the never-ending screams play out in my head. It feels like minutes, hours, days pass by. The agony does not show mercy. All I can do is close my eyes, hoping for anything to change, anything to stop, anything to take the pain away. In a matter of moments, the scene changed. The harsh white had not stopped, and neither had the screams. My hands sting, aching and sticky. I try to look at them. The blurred vision does not allow me mercy, even in this dream. I am cursed to only see colours, in which I try to understand. The air is thick, sweet and metallic. My hands caked in varying shades of red. The stinging cuts in as I try to sit up. It feels like I've been laying in the same spot all this time. The floor sticks to my skin as I rip my body from the pools that had gathered around me. The screams continued to send waves of agony through my head as I look upon my arms, red and raw. I must have clawed them, an attempt for any other input than the fucking screams. I had to leave. I have to find an exit. There must be a way. My body is trying to fail me. Begs me to stay, to not move. It's heavy and sore, but I must stand. Reaching my hand for anything that could help me move, help me find the exit. Stumbling forwards, the white floors feel endless. until it hits my fingers. A wall. It's a wall! Still, the white light in all directions blinds me, but the wall must mean an exit. Surely. And as I follow the wall, my hand leaves a thin red line as I stumble over my legs. I must cling on to the hope of an escape. I cannot stay here. I must find my brother. Hours pass as my legs give way and I drop. So tired. My body gives up on me as the exhaustion takes hold. It has been days since I last ate or drank. My body's eating away at what little muscles I have left. My body groans and begs for escape. All my remaining energy simply focuses on breathing. I can't sleep now, or I may never awaken. Will I ever get out? Darkness. Once more, the air is still and silent. My breath shakes. I can't go through this again. Then it is there. White. The figure stands before me, surrounded by the light. Sacred light. It is divine. Of most pure, of most humility. I dare not speak its name. It knows all I am. All I would be. All I can achieve. That I shall never reach perfection. But here it stands before me. Holy. 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 The burn upon its gaze, I am seen. It is born, it has died, it will come again. Prove your worth. Its words most holy, warm and comforting. Yes. My voice sounds unnatural. Clear. Like the humans. How? It stands over me, fallen out than the last time that we spoke. It hands me a weapon of some kind. Trying to make out which it is with my limited vision, believed to be a dagger, a symbol of courage, righteousness, and self-defense. And as it steps from behind me, I see what lays behind. Small, weak figures, brandishing items upon their hands like my own. The remaining 5 of you shall continue. The rest, well, you know what will come of you. It cuts through the silence. Small, quiet, panicked breaths ring out across the space. I look around and there are more. Many more. Begin. Darkness. High-pitched screaming and shouts. The air is thick, vision dark, as the light flashes, disorientating my vision. Where am I? Reaching out my hands, I believe I am under a shelter of some kind, hiding. The steps get closer, the sound of laughter. Laughter too high-pitched to be any soldier or any adult. Children. I try to see, looking around for any indication of the situation, but the screams continue. But where is my brother? Darkness. I run. The lights flash in shades of black to red to white. Though the red is partial, I dread to think on it any further. I have to find him. I have to protect him. Structures surround me, but their shapes are unclear. I can only believe this is an arena of some kind. The walls are the same shade of white. The floors remain cold and solid. And then I hear it. The whimper of a child. I have to kill them, else they kill me first. My clothes covered in blood already. My body is sticky and crusted. Pinpointing the noise, I narrow down the location. quietly as possible, moving towards the source. I cannot let them escape. Skip! His voice shakes. I can see his hands up in front of me, between the dagger and his chest. My brother. No words dare leave my lips. He is here. He's alive. He is alive. I clung to him, as if to never let go. Unsure of the numbers remaining, it was only a matter of time before the fighting ended. I had to keep him alive. I had to get him into the final 5. The laughing. The ones from before. Their steps are solid, with intent. They planned to find us. And they knew we were here. I held onto my brother tighter. We have to run. Hold on to me. And do not let go. He nods. His soft brown hair. He didn't deserve this. Darkness. My vision clears to a long stretch of cold white. The light continues to flash. The wind in my hair as we sprint, running as fast as our legs can take us. But his struggle. He is so much smaller. I should have known, but there's a catching up. Get back here, they scream. They will kill us. I turn my vision back, only for a moment. Their eyes, that figure. They have the same eyes as that figure. Get out! Get out of my head! Get out! He drops, tripping over a body laid upon the floor. His hand slips from mine, and I'm faced with a decision. Leave my brother, or face them. I am scared. I cannot leave my brother to die. As I reach my hand for him, I pull him behind me. As I hold the dagger tight, their footsteps grow louder, their laughter more vengeful, their breath deep and hot, prepared to kill once more. I have to. I have no choice. Without hesitation, they charge. I brace, aiming my dagger at their chests. And as it sinks in, as their scream rings out, darkness. It stands before me, the figure. Dagger in its hand. Drip. Drip. I look down at his hand, at the dagger lodged in my chest. But I feel nothing. A dark, thin grin washes over its face as my pupils shrink, my breath ragged. I try to speak, but no words come. The eyes, empty, endless, familiar. I try to move, to reach my brother, but my limbs refuse. He calls out my name, his voice small, cracking, afraid. I can see his face more clearly now. Oh, how young he was. 7, maybe 8. His face streaked in tears and blood. His small hand trembles as it reaches for mine. I won't leave you, he cried. The figure watches in silence. Drip, drip. And then, a sound. From beyond the veil of white, a low hum, like a heartbeat, too large for this world. The ground shakes faintly. The figure's grin falters. I see its head tilt towards the sound. An unfamiliar flicker in its abyssal eyes. And for the first time in what feels like eternity, the figure speaks. It's begun.
I jolt awake. My body lurches forward, slick with cold sweat. The room is dark. My chest heaves, lungs clawing for air like a drowning bird. My heart pounded so hard I swear I could still hear it. I clutched the sheets, hands trembling, nails digging into the thin fabric until it threatens to tear me. It was a dream, just a night terror. But my body doesn't believe it. The ghost of the dagger's heat still burns in my chest. I swear, I can feel the weight of the figure's eyes upon me. I glance towards the corner of the room, half expecting to see it standing there. Those eyes, that grin. But it's empty. Still, the shadows are stretching too long. Every whisper in the wind against the window sounds like it's laughter. I can't do this again. I can't go back to sleep. Not after that. I know it's waiting for me. It always is. And next time, it might not let me wake up. Failure, shame, and embarrassment. The paramours of courtesans are well and satisfied content. But as for me, my limbs are rent, because I collapsed to the clouds as mine. I owe it to the peerless stars, which flame in the whitest sky, that I see only with spent eyes remembered suns I knew before. In vain, I had a heart to find the center and the end of space. Beneath some burning unknown gaze, I feel my very wings unpinned. Burning, because I beauty love. I shall not know the brightest bliss, to give my name to the abyss, which waits to serve me as my grave. I don't know what time it is anymore. The sky outside is black as coal. The moon's light. The only glow in the night's deep dark. The residents of this vile land sleep. I envy them. I cannot sleep. Not anymore. Every time I close my eyes, the same terrible weight settles over me, like thick, suffocating fog. And then it comes. The nightmares. It's always different, but always the same. Failure, shame, a crawling, relentless humiliation that seeps into my bones. I don't remember much of my childhood anymore. Maybe it's better that way. Much like the past century, I am not the owner of my own memories anymore. I lost that privilege a long time ago. It says we're born worthless, and it's only through pain and sacrifice that we become something worthy of standing by its side. I used to believe it. I think part of me still does. He wasn't a leader the way I imagine a father would be. He didn't teach with kindness. Didn't guide with wisdom. It ruled with cruelty. With expectations so high, none of us could reach them. Especially not me. And yet I kept trying. How I tried. I thought if I could just be what I wanted, I could protect Zachariah. That if I became strong enough, perfect enough, it would leave him alone. But nothing is ever enough for it. Darkness.
Quiet. A single cry. A clash of metal upon metal. A screeching noise, coarse and harsh. Then more. and more. Red. Humid and hot air fills my lungs as I take a deep breath, trying to catch my bearings once more. I must have fallen asleep. How I had been avoiding it, like a mouse from a cat, and yet I must have succumbed once more. Oh, sleep, how merciless you are. Even you do not allow mercy. The shouts become deafening. Again, not graced with vision. All is but a parade of colour and shape. Why must I endure this? Suffering night after night, with no vision to allow me to understand my surroundings. What is a bird without vision in which to see? Deep, harsh breaths, and a low but mellow growl is beside me, hot and wet. The smell of iron and wet dog. I turn, hoping for any clue. A dreadhound, perhaps? But no. Purple. Bright, glowing purple. The indistinguishable markings of my brother. The glow of his eyes, of his horns. Zachariah. Something lays in the grasp of my hand, cold to the touch but solid. Running my other hand along it, I believe it is a weapon. A sharpened, curved edge. A scythe. What are the orders? I step back in surprise at the voice. It is shaky, but clear. Strike them down as they charge, else I strike you myself. Scratches from my throat. No, I didn't say that. Why did I say that? My voice is still not my own. I watch the figures behind me move in. As I stand with my brother, my vision is so dull. Only the light in the sky offers some sort of contrast. Surely it must be the moon. I can make out trees, their dark, looming grandeur in the distance. Pools of red below piles of bodies. Flashes of colour, paired along with a sharp zap, much like the arcing of lightning. It can only mean one thing. Magic. The shouts of my men as they strike down the enemy, the cries as they themselves take fire, I can do naught but watch. They have trained for this. They will not die. They are blessed upon its name. Holy, holy, holy. But one of my men hesitates. Smaller frame than the others around him, blonde hair cut short, green bright eyes, a single horn atop his forehead, but his power ran thin. The glow of his abilities ranged short, around 5, almost as low as it can be. Emily. He froze when the enemy charged towards him. The flash of dark orange races towards him, the crackle of electricity. Amloy, fall back, I shouted for him. As if in slow motion he turned, his eyes wide. The fear is palatable. As he takes a step to follow my command, it hits his leg. I watch as the current grips his skin, as its fangs upon a predator's prey tighten around its throat. Skipper, please, he cries, a blood-curdling noise. But I dare not step forward. I must stay at my brother's side. I cannot let his fate be the same. I watch as the claws of dark magic pull him into the woods. As the sound of tearing begins, his limbs rip from his frame like paper from a book. Fast, easy, but not without pain. His agonizing screams ring in my ears, quiet at first, but grow ever louder, until it feels like I am beside him. It is deafening. I hold my hands to my ears. I can't go through this again. Please. Please. I cannot bear the screams. Make it stop. Darkness. Silence. Air is still. For a moment, I am grateful. Finally, some silence from all of the noise. Until it sinks in. And just like the nightmares before, a captain's failure is measured in blood. It told me, as the whip cracked across my back, my hands bound to the cold stone wall. And yours is an ocean, his eyes, piercing red. Holy, holy, holy. I am blessed to look upon it, for many do not have such privilege. Oh, to be seen upon its gaze. I must atone for my sin, for I am not blessed. I am not perfection, upon it which it holds me to. I must repent for my shortcomings, follow in its great and glorious shadow. That's the first time I dreamt of drowning. And the blood of my soldiers, thick and dense. It is impossible to swim. Unable to clear my vision, and my throat so choked on the substance until it too dragged me down into its red sea. Since then, the nightmares have only worsened over the centuries. Zachariah. He was so small when he first brought to this place. Too young, too thin. He should have been left behind. Surely he would have survived alone. But it had a way of sniffing out weaknesses. I think it forced Zachariah to be here too. To punish me. To test how far I'd go. To protect what little I had left. And I failed him too. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it just feels like failing when every time I saved him, someone else died in his place. And it's my hand that carried the stain. It cycles over and over again. A new field, a new army. Always with my brother at my side. Same magic, same battle, and always another failure on my hands. Another death that I must atone for. Each lash of the whip leaves another mark on my skin. Another scar to remind me of my imperfection. Of my failures. The nightmare cycles. Over and over and over. I've been lashed more times than I can count for disobedience, for insubordination, placing one soldier's life above the mission. Every time Zachariah stumbled, every time he fell behind, every time I reached out to pull him from danger, its eyes would find me, and I'd know what the price would be. Your brother will be your undoing, Skipper. His words cut deep in my head, but not false. But every dream, I came close to victory. But my troops strong, following my lead, a victory within my reach, until their cries fill the dead silent night. And I cannot act. I cannot save my troops until I made them. I may not be one to charge into the battle, but I was given a gift. a mechanical mind that challenges creation itself. If I cannot save my troop from their inevitable death, then I shall make a troop who do not fear it. Darkness. Cold, damp room. Items and scrap lay before me, tools and kit that I have not seen in many a moon. I pick them up. Even with my hazed vision, I can see the parts used, the research conducted, days, months, years of work. Books laid upon the floor, notes scribbled in a language I can barely remember, walls covered in writings and diagrams, and there, in the middle of the room, the first. Its design is unmistakable. Round, white body made to be unsuspecting, to look weak and fragile, innocent. Unfortunately, all of the equipment required to control the units didn't fit within its frame, with the visual and audio equipment laid upon its face, capable to express a mimicry. The perfect machine. The Skipper Egg Project. My greatest creation. Of course, there had to be some sacrifices to make sweet and heavenly progress. Looking upon the room connected to this dark hall, the white fog rolls through the doorway. Step forwards towards the room. The fog is cold. The white light pouring from the room is harsh and unforgiving, and there they were, each laid in their own crystals, each perfect, each blessed to be within my creation, each sweet and pure, as far as my eyes allow me to see, each file marked with a number. They no longer require the names they once had. Little brain. How else was I to give my blessed creations their personality? To trick and deceive, to lure enemies into laying down their guard, to act as children is to have been a child. Each precious soul, each precious memory, blessed to be within my project. The perfect soldiers. It praised me for my dedication. Its light, pure, white, heavenly light. I am seen. It looked upon my curations with softness, perceiving true beauty in the sacrifices made upon its name for the true divine mission. And so, it blessed me with a gift. Darkness. We called it the Ascension. It said it was an honor, a gift bestowed upon only those deemed truly worthy to carry its divine mission. It stands before me, beauty in its eyes, a softness never once laid upon me before. Eyes like polished glass, catching every flicker of my shame, every crack in my resolve. It calls itself holy, blessed, ordained by forces beyond comprehension, and yet beneath that light, I saw something. I was told it would be painful, but the cost of perfection requires as little, and I believed it. God, how we all believed it. For in His order, pain is virtue. To suffer is to ascend, to bleed is to be made pure. I was told I would rise in the ranks, for the great service I had rendered in its name, for the blood I spilled, for the men I led to slaughter, for my curation. every creation remade in its image. I remember the chamber, white, endless white, not soft like snow or clouds, but blinding, searing, merciless, light so sharp it cut at my skin, peeling away every hidden thing. I could not close my eyes against it. There is no hiding in its gaze. I sat upon the white pillar, naked, small, and insignificant, a boy awaiting his god. Then it came. I looked upon its face, and in its gaze, I saw all I was, all I had been, all I would ever be. It was there, written in the void of those eyes, a future I did not choose, but one I would be made to carry. It knew me. It knew my weaknesses, my failures, my secrets. It ignored them, because it could break them. I am blessed to be upon its gaze. Holy, holy, holy. And then, through the hues of black upon red, its frame shifted. A slow, thin grin bled across its lips, and it stepped behind me. I remember the cold of its hand, the way it pressed into the space between my shoulders' blades. A lover's touch, if I did not know better. A moment so gentle, it was obscene. And then, the first stab. White, hot agony bursts through my chest, a spear of light and flame that sears through bone and marrow. I arched, or tried to, but something pinned me in place. My body was no longer mine. Every fiber, every nerve, every ligament torn and reknit, shredded and reformed by hands that did not love, did not care, only sought to maul. I could smell my own flesh burning. At the crackle of ligaments stretching beyond breaking, the wet pop of something ancient forcing its way into me. The light turned red. I screamed until my throat shredded itself raw, but it made no sound in that chamber. In that holy place, my agony was music. I remember the scent most of all. Charred flesh and iron blood, and something else. Something sour, like old fear. I felt myself die 1,000 times in the space of seconds, my heart stopping and restarting every beat of war against annihilation, and then the weight. It settled across my back like anger, like chains, like shackles made of feather and bone. Two vast, unnatural things unfurling from the torn meat of my shoulders, dripping blood onto the wet floor. Blue. Brilliant, impossibly vivid blue, like the sky I hadn't seen since childhood. They caught the terrible light shimmering, beautiful and adorable all at once. I wept, not from pride, not from joy, but because I knew what they meant. I was no longer mine. I was its. It stepped before me again, its smile thin, its eyes void. It called it a blessing, called me chosen. Holy, holy, holy. I was left alone after that. The pain would not leave for days, every moment a new agony, but it taught me not to hide them, to wear them like a badge, to let the envy in the eyes of the others feed me. Darkness. They told me I was made perfect that day. Vast, beautiful, powerful things, beautiful by anyone's measure, but I look upon them and see shackles. Permanent brand of what I endured, of what I became. They ache when it rains. The scars on my back never healed, and sometimes in the dark, when no one was watching, I wish I'd wither and fall away. I've tried to be proud of them, but perfection feels like rot. And every time these wings catch the wind, I remember the chamber, the white light, the grin, the hand, and the slow, unbearable tearing of a man made into a monster. I cannot forget. I was not meant to. Lately in my dreams, the wings are heavy. So heavy, I can't lift them. I tried to fly, to escape whatever horror is chasing me, but they drag me down, and I fall. I always fall. I always fail. But it's always there, watching from the shadows. I don't know who or what it is. Draped in a darkness thicker than night, its face is a blur except for the eyes, white, luminous, endless, and that grin, thin, pale gash of a mouth stretched too wide. It never blinks, never speaks, it just watches. Darkness. Standing in a field of ash, the remains of some nameless battlefield. I hear the cries of the dying, smell the blood and smoke. It keeps taunting me. The figure continues its torment as each night passes. It shows me the same image, again and again. It forces me to look upon my brother's corpse. I know if I would turn around now, I'd see Zachariah lying there broken. Another failure added to my tally. I didn't turn. I couldn't. Then I felt its presence, cold as the grave. The figure stepped into view, those dreadful eyes pinning me in place. And it spoke. The world around us is silent, clinging to its words. You're remembering, Skipper. The voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It slid into my ear, wrapping around my heart like a vice. And then it reached out. A long hand made of night and the bone placed its palm over my chest, a searing pain exploding in my chest. Worse than the wings, worse than the whip, worse than anything. I woke up screaming. Again.
And when I pressed my hand, my chest, the skin was hot. Like something had burned me from the inside. The mark isn't visible, but I can feel it. I don't know what he means. I'm afraid of what I'm starting to remember. I don't want to remember. I am more afraid of what will happen if I don't. I don't know how much longer I can keep this from it. It watches me, sending ravens to review me, sensing my weakness. If it suspects I'm a rebel, I won't survive, and if I fail... I'll write again tomorrow. If I make it to tomorrow. Death of themselves, or someone they care about. I can no longer tell what reality is. I have lost the tether to my body, my senses frayed and unrecognizable. My life, whatever I had of it, feels like a hollow shell, abandoned on the shore of some distant, forgotten ocean, and I am left to drift in its currents. The night terrors have forced me to dance between a charade of shadow and light, a twisted game by its design. How is one to continue when truth and lie weave so tightly that you cannot separate one from the other? When every instinct is called into question, the voice you once called your own now speaks in tongues you do not understand. I am unclear of what the terrors truly wish me to know. I had thought that this was a twisted game, that the night terrors were simply a chemical reaction, that I was haunted by something that I couldn't truly understand. It is becoming ever more clear that it may not be the case.
You are remembering, Skipper.
It said. But remembering what? Was it a lie? Or the corniest of truths? The difference between them matters little anymore. I wish I had memory. I wish I could understand. I have always been this thing. Human, born, forged, molded by something greater than myself. A life bound to a divine mission I no longer understand, to serve, to carry out its will, to ascend, to reach the holy heights I was promised. I prayed for it, craved it. Holy, holy, holy. But the closer I get, the harder I try, the more I grasp. It turns to black sand in my hands and falls away. I miss my brother. I miss my will to live. I miss my home.
I turned, and it is there. The bright, beautiful light. Who are you? Why are you here? To mock me as the dark figure does? To show me something I dare not speak? Watch my suffering in your twisted games? Speak! Tell me! And with no words, with a kindness most soft, its hand reaches for me, placed upon my cheek in the gentlest of manner. Warmth. Why torment me, light? Why offer me kindness when all I have sown is torment and wrong? Why show me the softness I know I do not deserve? Are you the one? The Holy One? I pray to in my darkest days? The hand meant to pull me from this endless dismay? Its thumb gently brushed against my cheek. I leaned into it. I have not felt softness. I do not recognize this kindness. Oh, it is so gentle. The warmth. It threatens to undo me. A single tear leaves my eye. A single streak down my cheek, as a light wipes it away. Last light. Please do not leave. Please. Stay. Darkness. And without a word, without a second to think, it stands there behind the light, with crossed out eyes, white and void. Why? Why are you here? Allow me this moment of kindness, darkness most foul. Let me have this, let me feel the warmth, let me remember what it was to be human. But the light moved back, towards the darkened figure. Please don't leave. My cheek feels icy without the light's hand. Please come back. I am so alone. Please. Please! The light looks upon the figure, but the dark figure's eyes are locked on mine. It does not look away. It does not blink. It does not allow me a moment to reminisce on the softness of light. But the light lifts its hand and places it upon the figure's cheek. Warmth. The light holds the dark's cheek with the same softness it showed mine. Warmth. I feel the warmth. And for the first time I feel it, not just my own skin, but in them. A mirrored warmth, as if our bodies were not our own. How? How is that possible? I look down at my hand. Darkness. My skin, dark and black as night. The dark figure stares into me. No. Through me. As though it knows every thought that claws through my frayed mind. The light's gentle warmth takes the hand of the dark's and it turns, looking around from its deadlock on me, and looks upon the light. As if in a dance, they raise their hands, flat palm to flat palm. I feel the warmth in my hands. A moment so delicate, so impossibly tender, it threatens to shatter the world. The dark void around us shifts. The sun rises, a beautiful sunrise by any standard. Bright, vivid orange kissed the sky as it greets it. And as the sun peaks on the horizon, they grasp their hands together. Take a step. And with not a word shared between them, they begin to dance. A waltz of light and dark. Like the wind between branches of an olden oak tree. Like the pond skates gliding between the reeds. Like the birds in the sky following the breeze. Breathtaking. The darkness that had tormented my every sleeping moment with the light that had shown me such softness. Why? The dance is one so gentle, a delicate balance between steps, as if a single noise could shatter it. I could do naught but watch. Calm. A moment of calmness in what feels like months of torment. I cannot help but take a deep breath as I feel the weight on my shoulders lift. Was this what the dark figure saw all along? In all of these months of it following each dream, of each terror it showed, of each stab in my chest, of each choking breath, each reminder of my mistakes and shame. In this moment, it dances with the warmth of the light. All for this. Fragile, impossible harmony. I envy you. But the wind picks up. The sky fills with clouds as their dance slowly comes to an end. Still with hand in hand they look upon the sky, a place I do not recognize. It seems that the figures do not as well, looking around with hand in hand. And from behind the light and dark, shadowed figures stand, not many, I believe 10 or so, with 4 travelling south and 6 to the west. The light and dark look between the groups. They seem troubled. With the dark stepping south and the light moving west, and with a final look between them, they let go of each other's hands. The coldness is immediate. Why did they split? Where are they going? Darkness. The sky returns. The dark figure stands alone, In a building made of stone, red and white floors, it looks lonely. And then the sound. A waystone. And without another noise, the 4 shadowed figures are within the room with the dark figure. Jumping and bouncing and placing items and signs all over the floors. Beds, chairs, toys? The dream does not allow me to see the words on the signs, but it is clear. The darkness has a closeness with these shadows. I dare not say it aloud, but my envy for the figure grows. Why must it torment me when its life is this, showing me its life? Or is this but another trick to fool me once more? It turns, slow and with intent, as its eyes lock on mine. Darkness. Once more, the sky clears to a radiant blue. White clouds and the sun beating down, but I do not feel its warmth until it is there. A light. The dark runs to the light, and with no thought, no sound between them, once more, they hold hands. All of the shadowed figures around them, as if in a group, and then one large dark shadow. One of an unnatural form, horns upon its head, hooves on ant throw legs. It is darker than the rest. With no words, the shadows chase the large cloud. The light and dark follow quickly behind. The light got too close. As the cloud strikes the light, I feel the warmth of its hand fade from mine as the darkness clings desperately to the light. Tears fall from its eyes. The dark really does care for it, doesn't it? What purpose does it show? Drip. Drip. I look at the floor. I do not feel the pain of the dagger in my chest. I see no blood, but a clear round mark on the floor. I lift my hand, placed upon my cheek, and there, tears. Darkness. The sky returns. A great lake in front of me. What a sight. Houses lay across the banks surrounding it, each a different colour, each unique in shape and style. The shadowed figures are here, and so is the dark. It looks upon the figures. It seems a discussion is being held. Where is the light? But the dark figure looks troubled. Its brows furrowed as it paces the grass. The shadows, too, look tense. And then it is there, the light, still warm, still bright, but different. There, in the brightness of its eyes, a flicker. The shine of something not so pure, the colour of ignorance. Something has changed in the light. The dark steps back. The shadows step back. Darkness. A pink house to my side. I stand within a tree. The light and dark figures below me, standing at a pier's edge, but they do not dance like they had. Still. I don't know why I must watch this until the dark leaves. Getting into a boat, it sails away, with not a word. The air becomes still as I watch the light. It watches the figure fade over the horizon, but that flicker continues to burn in its eyes. Darkness. Cold. Oh, of course. We go once more, back to the usual night terrors. Truly, I have become used to these terrors. I do not dread what they will show me. I prepare for it to repeat, for the disease to take hold and show me what I must. But it does not begin. The quiet drip from the leak in the roof hits the stained floors. A dark room, covered in bars and chains. Maybe too dark, even for my own standards. Blood stains the floors and walls, broken glass stands in old frames. The sound of a quiet shuffle. Is there something in here? Enemy in which I must slay? A reminder of my failures? My brother? But no. There, in the corner of the room, the dark figure cowers. Curled into a ball so small, it shakes. I feel the icy floors on my skin. Why? Why is it here? Is this not a room of its making? Dark figure, you show me such places. Do you not find joy in such torment? Why would you hide so? Bang. The distant banging of clanging of chains, the hurried steps of a group. Are they here to kill me? Again? Why must I face them? Fine. So be it. The slamming of heavy metal doors becomes louder, the steps more rapid. The dark figure moves, stiff at first but hurried. They hide atop a loft. The hurried clicking of keys into a lock, the screeching as the door opens, and there, the light. It steps into the room, with the shadows behind it. They seem panicked. They search the room in hurried steps, looking for the dark. But it runs, hiding in any corner it can find. The shadows try to approach it, but it lashes out until the light, softly, slowly, it steps towards the dark. It continues to shake, refusing to look at the light. I feel its fear. Warm. The light's hand softly placed upon the dark's cheek, like before. A softness so kind. Safe. The dark figure shifts, looking up to the light. The light's figure shifts slightly, as if the dark's view changes my own. The light has changed. Red marks along its face and a matter one can only believe to be the tearing of flesh, a large scar as if ripped. The impurity is gone. No longer in the sunset hue once seen, it is blessed, pure light once more. And without hesitation, they embrace darkness. There it stands, the dark figure alone. It digs in the floors, making a hole deep under what looks to be the first room it showed me. In the darkness, it digs away at the dirt, silently, emotionless, but my head becomes fuzzy. What is this feeling? From the tunnel it channeled, two shadows peek. I believe they are watching the dark. They too look puzzled by its behavior, and in the pitch-black room, look from hands that bleed deep red. The dark turns slowly. Its eyes, the white that had haunted each terror, that had looked upon me and my failings, that had put judgment upon my life, now a shade that I could never misplace. Bright, glowing purple. How could I have not known? Was it him all along? The one who carved these horrors into my dreams? Or was he trying to tell me? To make me remember what I am? What we are? But then why do my hands too bleed as the figures does? The shadows run as the dark chases after them, axe in hand. Darkness. The shadows gather around the small trapdoor leading into this darkened lair, where the dark figure sits, its back to the room. It hides in a corner. The shadows turn, and there once more is the light. But much like before, there is something different. The glow that had once been small kindles in the heart of the light now, deeper, closer to one's soul. An unease washes over me. But they descend into the chamber. Each shadow follows the light. The room now, covered in the same dark stone, the chains and bars lay close, much like the room before. It looks upon the dark. huddled in the corner, but it does not shake. It does not show fear as it had. A buzzing in my head returns as the dark turns, eyes purple once more. It swings. The blade contacts the light, but it does not hesitate. Why attack the softness of light? Why fight these shadows that had shown you nothing but good faith from these shifting in scenes? Why, my brother? But through eyes of intent it sees the shadows, and strikes one down as the light runs. Darkness. The gentle running of water. Soft, gentle music plays, the clanging of plates and dishes. Under a cliff's edge a restaurant lays. Shadows sit within. Many more now, not the 10 or so I had seen before, but many forms thus shadows sit, with food laid before them. But the dark sits alone. A single table in the corner of the room, with places set for 2. But no one comes. Where is the light? After all this time, I would have thought that a shadow approaches the dark one, and leads them to a place below where fruit trees grow underneath ground. They seem to be in discussion. Dark figure's breath quickens, but shortened nonetheless. They pace back and forth as if in panic. The shadow, a shape unclear, no human, that's for sure. But after minutes of pacing, they seem to bring peace to the darkness, as it sits upon the moss floor. But as it leaves, as it steps to the restaurant doors, waving goodbye to that shadow that had calmed them, light stands across from the river's edge. The embers glow a frustrated hue, the ignorance of what is ignored, now a fire within its chest. Why? Light, what is this glow in you? Why does your light die out? The dark runs to the light, panic set in once more. But it feels more icy than before. The cold more cold, the light less warm. What will become of them? I thought. I don't know what I truly thought. Why did they not dance together once more? What a beautiful memory that was. Why do I feel so cold? But it runs. The light turns from dark, the flame within it grows brighter. Why? But Dark looks down. Disappointed is easy to see. My chest aches. As a tear runs from my eye once more, it slowly turns, looking up to the valley at the moon's glow, as it too cries. And then it leaves. Darkness. Outside the house from once before, a dark figure stands before shadow unclear. A dark blue hue follows its form, but I had not seen this one before. Buzzing. A familiar glow returns in the eyes of the darkness, as the shadow hands it a book. It skims through the pages until the last one lays clear. Written in a blur I cannot see, the fog rolls off the page, a dark, thick orange, as the dark signs the last page, following the shadow to a cave. But this is no cave. As the shadow flicks a torch, and an entrance emerges, the dark steps within. Chambers line the wall, each with a gem inside. The shadow takes a single gem within its grasp, as the fog gathers around the shadow, as it casts it upon the dark, as its soul turns orange. Darkness. Sorrow. Uncontrollable sobs. The dark kneels before a headstone. What happened? Who's great? And there, in a frame beside the stone, a photo of the light. How? Did it die? The light can't die. What happened? Where was the dark? The dark cared for it, did it not? Did the dark not protect it? Why? How? It sobs. Alone at the foot of the grave, letters and flowers lay around the headstone. One can assume from the shadows that once stayed near it. But the dark weeps. A sounded deep from within its soul. The night sky more harsh, more cold, more alone. Oh dark figure, what happened to you? His heart tears from his body. I feel the pain in my own. Worse than the whip. Worse than the wings. Please. Stay. The darkness breaks. The light is gone. Hours pass, and it remains at the graveside. I did not dare step away. It dares not turn its gaze from the photo, but it weeps until no tears no longer fall. Its voice ran raw, the breath shallow and choking, and there it is, rising over the ocean, a warm, gentle glow. The sunrise. It looks up, slowly, weakly, as the horizon reaches its eyes. And for but a moment, it stops, watching the sunrise, and there, in the sun's embrace, stands the light. Darkness.
I awoke, sweat-soaked, trembling, alone in my chamber of chains and dark walls, the echo of sobs not my own still in the air. And I understand. This was never a game, never random terrors. This was a memory. My memory. Ours. Somewhere in this infinite spiral, we were whole, light and dark, and something, some ancient, holy force tore these memories from me, and I forgot. But now, I remember. I remember my sunrise. I'm so sorry, my love. I'm so sorry, Toast.